Hey everybody, welcome to an advanced Photoshop CS6 tutorial where we are going to go over how to use content-aware scaling to do some pretty advanced scaling techniques. And it's actually really easy, but some people don't know what content-aware scaling is, so whatever. And my name is Buddy Blackford, so let's start getting in on this tutorial. What content-aware scaling does is it looks at your image and sees what the important parts are. So it's going to look at this image and see that this lifeguard tower is the important thing in the image, and when it scales the image, it's going to try to keep this the same size while using stuff like the sky and the sand and stuff. Those are going to be scaled or cropped out or whatever it does. So let's start with this now. Now you can either make a selection, and you can edit the selection that you made, or you can edit the whole entire picture. So what we're going to do first is edit the whole entire picture so you can see what's going on. So the first thing I want to do though is show you what it does when it scales on its own. So I'm going to hit Control T to bring up my free transform. And when I scale it like this, you can see how this guard tower gets skinny and everything gets smushed together and all that jazz. I'm going to hit cancel up here. We're going to cancel that, and we're going to go to content aware scaling. So let's go to edit and come down here to content aware scale. Alt Shift Control C if you want to use that. So watch what happens now when I go to scale from the same exact side. Look at the sand and how it kind of like meshes together, and the same as the water. And now you notice that the guard box for the lifeguard box there, or whatever it is, the lifeguard tower, I guess, that's the same size. And content aware scaling recognized that it's the same size. Now it's starting to crush in a little bit where it can but it still tries to keep the decent size. Now when you get to something like this, you can see that some of the legs are broken in half and stuff like that where it tried to scale, and then the roof is like distorted a little. So you can't go like all out right next to it and try and keep the size. You would just use a crop tool for that, obviously. But you can scale part of the image and still keep the size of your lifeguard tower. So it's really cool. Now we've got a couple of different options up here. This is the anchor point from where you're scaling, so it's your reference point. And just click on any one of the dots to set a different reference point from where you want to scale. You can enter in your different guideline, or enter in your different heights and widths and all that stuff for you, so you can adjust the scaling that way. We've got this button right here, which sets it back to what it was, sets it back to 0. It's this little triangle button. If you have it unchecked, it's going to have it at what your scale right here is set at. So if I start moving this, you can see that the x-axis is going, and if I move it this way, you can see that the y-axis is moving over here on these. So I'm going to cancel, and then we're going to go back so we can have our edit content aware scale, so we can have our options back up here. Now you can adjust the width and the height, and right now they are locked, so if I adjust the width to 50% of what it was, the height should also be affected. Is that not locked? Oh, now it's locked. So go back, edit. Oh man, I can't undo it. There we go. Every time you have to click on it again, which is pretty annoying. I wish it just wouldn't have like a reset button or something like that. So if you have this button unclicked, it'll do it independently. If you have this button actually clicked, then it will resize the scale and width around the same size. So that way there. And it's going to use the content aware scaling when it does this. So I can put it back to 100, and it'll be what it was before. Now this amount here, it's the amount of content aware scaling versus the amount of regular scaling. So if I put this amount to 0, it's just going to be like a regular scale. And it's going to basically do it like that. If I put this to 50%, it's going to be half content aware scaling and half regular scaling, and obviously at 100% it's all content aware scaling. So that's a little thing you can use there. Adjust that to get like different kind of effects if you're going for that kind of stuff. Protect here, you can use an alpha channel to protect what you want to use. So if you had an alpha channel for this guard box here that you created, it would know to just use the guard box, or to use the lifeguard box, and it would know to use the alpha channel to protect the lifeguard box. If you don't know what an alpha channel is, I suggest you look it up, but it's basically a black and white image where the white part is what is masked out or what you want to keep, and the black area is pretty much what you don't want to keep. It's hard to explain just without any like tools or anything like that. It's one of the harder things to explain in graphic design or motion graphics or anything like that. So I suggest that you go in and look that up. Just type in alpha channel definition in Google, and it'll give you probably like a Wikipedia site that you can look it up. Thank God for Wikipedia. The next button we have is protect skin tones. So that's this little person right here. And if you have people in your image, it's going to know to protect those people because they have skin tones on there. So it's going to preserve those areas. Now these buttons over here, this button with this the no sign here, that's to cancel your whatever you're using, and I did that a few times within this tutorial. And the check mark here is to commit to the changes that you did. Another button for the check mark is just pressing enter. So that's how you use the content aware scaling. It's an advanced scaling technique that's really easy to use. So go ahead and just use that to make your images cool and keep your important stuff intact without having to crop your image or something like that. It's a little bit like cropping, but not so much. Say you had two people standing on the opposite side of each other in a photo. One person's on the far right, one person's on the far left, and you wanted to content aware scale it so those two were closer together, but you don't want to crop out the middle because then it's just going to look stupid. So you just content aware scale them together, and it looks like they're closer in the image. So that's how you do it. So we'll see you guys in the next tutorial, where I'm not sure what we're going to be going over, so I'm not going to say. So, but I appreciate you guys watching through the tutorial series. Have a good one, everybody.